Hey, we are live, and I'm prepared, I promise. Not really. Okay. Got the cards. That was quick. That was easy. Here we are. All right, so we're going to do like last time. So for the people that watch this later, we're going to do the weekly readings first, get those kind of out of the way. And then if anyone joins us during that time, then we can do chats and we can hang out and we can talk about all that stuff. All right, so let's see. How do we want to do it? I want to do activity last. Let's do affirmations first, a little inspiration, and a little guidance. How about affirmations, guidance, inspiration, activity? We'll do it that way. All right, let's begin with our affirmations. And we'll shuffle these up. How's everybody doing? I hope your week's going okay. I hope you had a fun weekend. Hope you're doing all right. Hope you're ready for whatever comes. And we'll see what it is. We'll see what messages we have. We'll see what's what. All right, let's shuffle this. Get this one more time. See if we can shuffle. No, just not enough cards. I cannot do this. How do tarot readers do this stuff? Man, they are like masters. Okay. Hands aren't big enough for that nonsense. Okay. We're just going to pull from the top. Oh, nope. I'm going to pull this one because this flipped out at us. All right. Affirmation for the week. Ooh. The last psychic vampire elder. First of all, awesome name. I'm looking for my tribe. Can you help? Where do I belong? I'm here. So first of all, thank you for the $5 to get that message up there. That's awesome. And so I appreciate that. So thank you. And thank you for joining us. The last psychic vampire elder. I do like that, by the way. Are you actually part of the vampire culture and community? That's my question right there. And can you help? Well, that depends on exactly what you're looking for. The tribe could be anything, right? Place in the universe could be anything. We'll get to that, though. I promise that. I will actually come back to that question. We'll actually talk about it because it's a good discussion about where do I belong is a good one. It's a good one. I'm here and I'm alone. Well, you know, we'll get philosophical on that. I'm going to do the readings real quick, the weekly readings on that real quick. Maybe they'll help. Maybe they'll address that question. After the readings, though, I'm going to 100% come back to these and jump on these questions for you. If not for you, for someone else. I'm a firm believer, and if one person asks, then there's 5 people with that exact same question. So we're going to get to that. This one. So we're starting off for a weekly affirmation. Here's our first card. This one jumped out. I am gifted. I have natural skills that set me apart from everyone around me. I will shine through for everyone to see. And see, that actually applies. That actually applies to feeling alone and understanding that you are gifted, that you have your own unique skill sets. You have your own unique personality, and you will shine for people to see. You know, so by being yourself, by being true to who you are, by doing that self-discovery and doing that self-work, you will find your tribe. You will find where you belong by removing what doesn't fit and removing what doesn't serve you. And by doing that, you're going to find people who vibe with you and that you vibe with, and that, you know, kind of birds of a feather kind of idea. So affirmation, I am gifted. I have natural skills that set me apart from everyone around me. I will shine through for everyone to see. So that's for this one. All right. And we don't have a number for that. So we're going to put that to the side. We'll come back to that later. And we'll move on to guidance. Guidance. And and I see your chat, last psychic vampire. And I will get there. I'll get to it. I'll get to that. because there's good stuff in there. There's good stuff in there, despite, other things. But there's good stuff. There's good discussion material in there in more ways than one. So we're going to do guidance for this week. We're continuing general guidance reading, and then we can do personal. And we're just going to pull from the top. Ooh. Okay. Here's our guidance. Being a leader takes hard work and sacrifice. Start simple by setting a good example and helping others every day. Being a leader takes hard work and sacrifice. Start simple. Always lead by example is kind of my thing. Never ask someone to do something that you yourself wouldn't do. So if you want to be a leader, if you want to be in that position, there you go. You lead by example, and you start by just being true to yourself. Start by just being true to who you are. Vampire, I'm going to get to your chat. Don't worry. And if you want to stick around, we only got 2 more cards to pull, and then but there we go. This is for the people that catch up, later, watch the video later. I like to try to get these out as soon as possible. Take up 10 minutes of their time. So be a leader, be an example. Be an example. It's going to take hard work. It takes putting in the work. But if you want to be a leader, you got to lead by example. You got to be what you want to inspire people to be. That's the reality of leadership. If you want people to follow you, you got to have a vision. You got to embody that. Embody that concept. So we're gonna do. Okay. Inspiration's next. Inspiration's next for the week. What's our inspiration for the week? Let's try one more. Our inspiration for the week. And this one will have a thing for it. Oops, sorry about that. You can't stop change any more than you can stop the suns from setting. Change is a natural part that can't be avoided. It's what helps you learn and grow. This is a good one. This is an important one. We're going to dig into this one more in a second, and it has a page number. All right, so first of all, thank you. Appreciate that. Knock it off. Appreciate it. And I'm gonna get to all this. I promise. I'm gonna get to it. We're just gonna get to it. So thank you. Appreciate it. Save your money. Save your money. Knock it off. Save your money. We'll get to it. You don't have to spend money to be heard or seen. I promise you that. Promise you that. You're good. You don't have to donate at all. You're 100% good. This appreciate it. 100% gratitude. Truly. So thank you. Especially if that's the last. So thank you. Appreciate it. But we'll get to it. We'll get to your story. We'll get to you, and we'll get there. Just one more card to pull for our weekly, and then we'll do individuals. Then we're going to get into that story. We are going to do that. It's a good question anyways. Where do I belong? So our activity for the week. Okay, we've had this one before, and this is always a good one. Share with a friend, whether it's your favorite toy or a legendary starship. It feels good to let someone else enjoy the things you love. So share with a friend. Go out, go do something. If you love a place that you like hiking, or you love a picture, or you love a TikTok, I don't know what it is. Whatever you love, go ahead. Share something. Let your friend, go play with your dog or something like that. Invite them out to the park. So this is our activity for the week. Share with a friend. Share a show. Share a book. Do that. So those are we'll come back to these. Those are our weekly affirmations, and I appreciate everybody who's here and those of you watching later. So hopefully we got to that in a reasonable time frame. I'll try to be a little bit quicker on those in the So we'll do that. Sorry, it's the last of my plasma money I can do. As I said, you're all good. Your energy makes you worthy of your donating. Well, I appreciate, again, nothing but gratitude there. I 100% appreciate it. I really do. You know, but you don't ever feel like you have to. That's a message I try to share all the time. Never feel that you have to, and never feel like you have to in order to be seen or heard or anything of that name. Logan is definitely easier to say than the last psychic vampire elder. That's I was gonna shorten it anyways. So yeah, that helps, Logan. All right, so we'll go up. So, original question. I'm looking for my tribe. Where do I belong? Can you help? Help is always a question, and maybe, right? But where do I belong? Where do you belong? Like we pulled for the affirmations, I will shine through for everybody to see. When you stay true to yourself, when you understand what you want and what you're looking for, you're going to find those things. You're going to find where you belong because you're going to stay true to that, right? And you say, that you're alone. One, philosophically, I dig into that. My teenage Nietzsche self would definitely go the route of we're all alone, in this universe, right? We all experience this thing on our own, but the reality is that there are people out there, and there's always people for you, and there's always your tribe, if you want to use that vernacular, if you want to use that terminology, is out there. It's just a question of finding it. It can be difficult in certain locations throughout the world, but there's always people, and that's kind of the beauty of the internet, is that you get to reach out and talk to people at different locations and find your people, right? No matter where they're at. I'll explain. I learned mystic arcs, psychic energy manipulation, awareness of the multiverse. I found versions of myself. My energy levels are high, and I want to help ascend humanity. Well, so one, I don't know if you've seen the movie The One, but I love that one, and that's what I found the other versions of myself just reminds me of. Great movie. Jet Li movie. Well, I wouldn't say great movie. It's probably got some problematic things in it, but still a good movie. I really like the martial arts and how Jet Li approached the two characters and things like that, but I'm getting off on a tangent. But yeah, absolutely love The One, and that's what it reminds me of. And of course, we've had two other multiverse movies recently come out. But yeah, the theories on the multiverse, I mean, it's pretty much... all that, let's say, this universe, this timeline, if you will, is lacking is the technology to actually, bring that, into concrete reality here. But I want to help ascend humanity is the one I wanted to touch on here, because here's the reality. You can't help anybody who doesn't want to help themselves. You can't help anyone who doesn't want help. You can drag people kicking and screaming. It's why forcing people into rehab clinics doesn't work, and why they're going to relapse a few months out of rehab. Forcing someone to do all that when it's not of their volition is basically doomed to fail. Like there's exceptions to the rule, but 100% you can't help those who do not help themselves. You can't bring enlightenment to anyone, no matter how enlightened you may be, right? You just can't force that stuff. That takes self-work. It takes self-honesty. It takes self-reflection. It takes shadow work, if you will. It takes that. As someone who's learned mystic arts and things of that nature, then you understand that that's a lot of digging within, and that's a lot of dedication. That's a lot of desire. That's a lot of focus. That's a lot of sacrifice in order to quote unquote ascend, if you will. That's levels. That's stuff you have to do. And humanity's not there. Wrong timeline, wrong universe. This plane is not there. It's not there. Sorry. It's 100% not there. So you can't force people. You can't help people to ascend. You can't help humanity to ascend. All you can do is be yourself and be as the other card we pulled, right? As the card we pulled about guidance, if I remember right. Yeah. Being a leader takes hard work and sacrifice. Start simple by setting a good example and helping others every day. So you have to set that example. You have to be the example of what you want to be. So if I'm talking about Jedi philosophy, or if I'm talking about vampire philosophy, or if I'm talking about Zoism, I have to physically, mentally, emotionally, socially, spiritually, all these things, all these areas of where well-being, I have to represent that, and I have to be an example of that. I have to speak in that way. I have to represent my path and what it means, so other people have a better understanding of what it means. It's not just about the textbook stuff. It's about how you present yourself and how you present the material. So helping people ascend, first, you got to start small. You have to start with yourself, and you have to really dig into that material, and then you have to be an example of it. You have to put yourself out there in that way, that people can see the validity of the path. Anytime someone asks you to believe as a way to succeed, it's nonsense. You should never have belief. Shouldn't have to come first. You should be able to see the results. We're talking about tangible, repeatable results. And that's even when you get into mystic stuff, right? That's even when you get into metaphysical stuff, you have to present it first. You have to tangible, repeatable results. This is what I've done. This is what I've accomplished or succeeded at, or that I can do. And this is what, and following this will lead other people there. And that's, so you need tangible, repeatable results. And that's about being a leader within yourself. I'm looking for others like me. I'm learning what I am. Come from a dead universe. I'm pretty sure it's all dead. And I found myself in this dimension reality 6 months ago. That sounds like a crash course, man. That's horrible. You've entered into the worst possible timeline. I mean, probably not. We say that, as a joke, because what else is there? We're all dealing, as I talked about in last week's episode, or last week's video episode. Are these episodic now? As I talked about it in last week, is that we're in a time of change. We're in this time of this period of change, socially speaking, societal change, and that's a very difficult thing. It's also Earth, the climate and everything is changing. We're in this moment of change, and that's a difficult thing to go through, and it's a difficult thing to process. And we all kind of do it a little bit differently, and we all go through things differently, right? And we all kind of express that and try to navigate it in our own ways. And it's not easy. It's not comfortable, but change rarely is. Even good change is still, you think about people who buy a house, right? Or buy a new house or something of that nature. That's a positive change, but it's hectic, and it takes time, and it takes effort, and things inevitably go wrong. You go on a trip that's somewhere fun, but there's inevitably speed bumps and things of that nature, that there's change there. You go through personal change, personal growth. When you grow as a person, that's gonna be uncomfortable. I mean, that's the whole concept of what people call shadow work, right? Is that you confront all those things that you do in yourself, and the idea is that you confront it, and you can grow, and you can be better, and you're self-aware, and that ultimately affects change. And again, that's ultimately uncomfortable. So there's we're in this stage, and everybody's going to approach it differently, and everybody's going to try to rationalize it differently, and everybody's going to try to come to a way of exploring it differently. But the thing is to simply understand that the only way out is through. And all you can do is pick what speaks to you, what vibes with you, and then go forward in that path. And in doing that, in setting that up, you are going to find your people. You're going to find your tribe. You're going to find the people who vibe with you. You're going to find the people who listen to you, and you'll find the people who are interested in what you personally have to offer, as long as you're interested in what they have to offer as well. So it's always a two-way street, right? So, and again, you want to be a leader, you got to be that example, and you have to lead by example. If you want to help people, you have to show that you're capable of helping people. It's tough for a lot of people to accept help to begin with, because of how our society often works. It is really tough for people to accept help. So showing that you're capable and non-judgment, like you have to earn the right to help people, which can be frustrating at times. But if you want to help people, that's what you got to put in the work, and you got to put in the sacrifice, and you have to be the example of it. You have to show, hey, I want to help people. You have to be worthy of that, and you have to show that your help's not going to be detrimental. So it's effort, it's time, it's work. So that's and then you'll get there. You'll get to where you are, and you'll get to how you're doing. And so there you go. To really break it down, I'm looking for info about myself because it's funny. So, okay, so I caught up with that. Good morning, Opie. How was Comic-Con? Good morning, Melbo. Comic-Con was hectic and chaotic, and it was crowded. I am, for those who don't know, I'm an introvert, and I'm antisocial. So like going to places like Comic-Con is work. It's work. It takes a lot out of me. We had to stand out in the sun to do the. For some reason, I'm not getting the Comic-Con emails, or they're just not sending them out. I'm not sure, but I didn't get anything about getting approved, like COVID vaccination or test approved. I didn't get anything about there's a line or there's a check-in or anything like that. So we had to stand out in this long line in the sun, right? And just cooking. We're both just cooking. I'm in a Deadpool costume. I took off the helmet because I was just I was pouring. And then we get closer, and then we find out, hey, if you have the app, the Clear app, you could just go in this much shorter line. And we stood out there for, I don't even know how long, 30, 60 minutes, something like that, in this line. And then find out, oh, here's this other shorter line as we got up to it. Now, don't even get me wrong. That line made a difference even at that point, because you still had to go up these stairs, and then the other line snakes. So there was another hour, maybe two, to wait in this other line. So that was not fun. I don't think it was handled well. Star Wars Celebration, comparing the two, if you're ever on the fence, if for some reason you get tickets to go to San Diego Comic-Con, which tends to be difficult, but if you have the choice between the two, San Diego Comic-Con or Star Wars Celebration in Anaheim, go to Star Wars Celebration. I know a lot of people tried to complain about it, but it was way managed. It was managed way better. It was managed a lot better. And I didn't have any problems with it. So that's what I would recommend, honestly. But it was good. It was good. I mean, I'm putting all the negative out there first, but it was good. We got to walk around. We got to see some stuff. We got to meet some comic artists, obviously. We got to check out some things. I missed my chance to pick up a pen that I wanted from a booth that I wanted to go to, The Hero Within. I used to write for their blog, and we passed by their booth a couple of times, but it always, I don't know, man. Maybe it was just probably my social anxiety or something, but I didn't want to get in there at that time. So it was good, though. It was good. And it was fun. It was a good experience. It was a fun experience. But as I said, it's technically like conventions, concerts, that kind of thing aren't really my thing. But you know, you do them, you get the experience, you have fun, you go down there, you have costumes. One of the things that I loved about it, from the moment walking to the convention in the Deadpool suit, uh, to being on the convention floor, to leaving the convention, there were kids, big and small, who, you know, stopped me and said hello and took pictures and were really excited to see Deadpool walking around. So that was fun. I could see why Ryan Reynolds freaking loves it. Um, but yeah, that was fun, and Comic Con was good. But like, it had a whole thing, as we were talking about change. Even positive stuff can come with chaos and can come with challenges. And there was bumps. There was our hotel room uh, reservation got canceled as we were arriving. I don't even know. Like, we were like, I don't know. It got canceled. We showed up and they're like, yeah, we canceled it. Did you get the email? And they sent the email while I was on the road to the hotel, like while I was traveling. It was chaotic, but yeah. It was fun. All right, let me catch up here. I'm behind on the thing. What are you guys doing? Melobot Explores. Hope you're doing all right, mate. I love the one too. I'm a sucker for martial arts movies. Thank you again. Thank you for the donation. Appreciate it. Don't feel you have to be seen. I'm gonna get to it. I know I'm behind on the one, but yeah, speaking on multiverses and meeting multiverse self, right? Yeah, I don't think you can beat the one. I really enjoyed it. I really like the concept of it, that defeating each of the selves kind of gets there, and things of that nature. So absolutely, and for martial arts, it's great that Jet Li developed. So when he was making the movie, they didn't have any idea in any specific martial arts in mind. They just kind of wanted to make an action movie, right? And Jet Li is the one that brought in the idea of making one character do a Sing-Yi style, with the 5-element fists, which is a much more linear, much more straightforward style, versus the protagonist, which is a Bagua, which is a much more fluid and much more circular style, right? Because it has walk the circle, but it's a much more fluid and kind of redirecting uh, kind of style. And so he used those as inspirations for those styles, and applied those inspirations to the two characters. And we see both of those styles within the movie. Obviously, we see Bagua where he's walking the circle, and then we see on the hospital rooftop, which really well done cinematography wise, where he's doing a style of 5-element fist, and then it has this really like good, like he does this move where it's just a that, and you hear this really deep growl underneath it, which is it was really well done. But yeah, it's a good movie. I really liked it. Things of that nature. World betterment through self betterment is absolutely correct. Let me see, make sure I'm not missing anything else here. So yeah, absolutely, world betterment through self betterment. If everybody works on themselves, and if everybody does that, then it's like the old saying: if every man cleaned his doorstep, the whole world would be clean. Right? So if everybody takes care of their own garbage, if everybody takes care of themselves, if everybody put in the work on themselves, we would be living in a better society. We would be living in a better world if everybody took the time to really put it in there, to really work on ourselves. And as adults and as people that are in charge, we need to hold those people accountable, because we can put systems in place and we can add that kind of self-awareness and those techniques into our general education. These aren't things that have to be regulated to some sort of spiritual search. This is something that can be added to just basic decision making classes and basic understanding. And how about a class on why Maslow's hierarchy of needs is complete nonsense? Okay, so like, we should be teaching that at a young age. Actually, we should be really allowing people to dig into themselves, to know who they are, to put in the work, who they are, to make that self-realization. Because if you look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, then people in elementary school generally are there, or they're supposed to be there, right? Our society isn't 100%. We have a lot of kids, even in the United States, that go hungry and stuff. But generally, kids at that level have met all those things. They have their base needs taken care of. That's the role of the adults. They have their social circle taken care of. Again, the adults, the family unit, and the friends that they make. Those things are supposed to be there. So we should be teaching self-realization at that point, at that young age, when those things are taken care of. And that would resolve itself. Then we would be living in a better, it snowballs, or I guess reverse snowballs upward. It would lead to better things. It would just lead to better things if we started there and use that time when we are carefree, and to explore childhood, to have fun, but also to understand ourselves and to explore ourselves. What do we like? What don't we like? What sports do we like? What music do we like? Like, what is it that speaks to us? You have this time as a kid to really do that exploration, and it's never really encouraged, except by, like, of course, parents who really have done that work themselves and understand that, which seems to be a rarity. So but that's just me. I'm on a soapbox. But yeah, world betterment through self-betterment. So what you're saying is I can focus only on myself and forsake all those who don't want advice. What I'm saying is that you have to focus on yourself. If you want to help people, you have to start inward and spread outward. All right. So all help, all betterment, as School of Cold pointed out, self world betterment through self-betterment. You start within and it spreads outward. You don't forsake anybody, but you can't force someone. If someone doesn't want your help, if they don't want your advice, if they don't want to advance, they're not going to. They're going to find reasons why not to listen to you. And I'm sure you're self-aware enough to know that everything that you've put in this chat would give people plenty of ammunition to disregard you. They have plenty of this information. They would use this to discredit you and to disregard anything that you have to say. So you can't force. So you're automatically starting there. It becomes antagonistic at that point, and that's only gonna bother yourself. That's only gonna hurt yourself. That's only gonna hurt what you want to do. If you want to help people, you have to start within, and then you have to be the example of your help. You have to be the example of your help, because if you're not good, then that's what your help is worth. If you can't help yourself, how can you expect to help others? How can people trust you to help them if you can't help yourself? We all struggle and we all go through tough times. And I've never been afraid to share those struggles and those tough times. If you read through the Situational Jedi, I use plenty of examples of where I've struggled, where I've failed, where I've fallen, where I've made mistakes, where I've made wrong turns. And I do that here, and I do that in all my stuff, because it's important to understand that just because you get help doesn't mean the struggle's over, or there's a pinnacle, or there's it ends. This is a continuation. We're on a journey, and the journey is always going to continue until it stops continuing. Then it's just going to continue in a new form. We don't know what that form is, or at least that's my belief. None of us really know what that form is, but it's there. Whether it's all a blender and it all gets recycled and it's all just stuff for the universe to reuse, doesn't matter, but the journey changes. And while we're here, we're going to have our challenges. We're going to have our successes. We're going to have our failures. We're going to have that. So even helping people, and that's why I use myself as an example, because even with the Jedi stuff, even with the vampire stuff, even with the Zoism stuff, none of it is a complete answer. None of it is the end. I am pretty good myself. I deal with financial and social, or not social, societal challenges that impact that, right? That impact being good with yourself. And if those challenges, if those societal challenges weren't there, and if things would be way easier, right? If the financial challenges weren't there, things would be way easier, right? A lot less stressors. But by seeing that this help offers, but I still deal with depression, because depression isn't a it's not a result of something. It's just a thing in the brain that happens. It's chemical imbalance, right? It's the result of things that are beyond anybody's like real control. You can take pills for it. Some people do. But no matter what, there's still like a struggle with it, right? But if you can show that your help actually gets you in a good place, and that actually helps you deal with those challenges, those continual challenges and new challenges that come up along the journey, if you show like, oh, okay, I struggled with this, but I know I have it. I've struggled with this, but I know I succeeded in the past, or I've overcome this in the past, or I've made it through. As we said earlier, the only way out is through. So that's the only way we have to go through this period of change, is to go through it. And the only way to do that is, and if you want to help people, you have to show that your help is going to help them, that you're going to be good, and that they're going to be good. That doesn't erase the problems. It doesn't erase the challenges. It doesn't mean everything's magically solved, but that you can be here, and that you are good, and that you're still in it. And that's what you can. So yeah, you have to focus on yourself, because if you can't help yourself, why would you think that you can help others? It's easier to focus on another person's problem than it is our own. But that doesn't solve anything. George R. Price, I recommend that you look him up. He is a wonderful man. He was smart, and he was super compassionate, and he actually developed the mathematical formula for compassion, basically, to mathematically say that compassion is a part of survival, is a part of nature, is a part of the equation of survival of the fittest. That compassion actually plays an integral part, right? And when he discovered that, he really changed his life to be that full-on compassion. He literally opened his doors to the homeless. He literally brought people in. He literally gave his entirety to help others. He gave away everything he had. He lost his house. He lost his marriage. He lost his job. He lost everything, and he never gave up. He never gave up being compassionate to others. He still, in those bad moments, sought to help others. He eventually killed himself when he could no longer do that. It's a lesson in balance. It's a lesson in understanding that if you truly want to help others, you have to be in a position to help others. And I'm not just talking financially. Financially is the easy one, right? It's hard as it is. Financially is the easy part. But if you want to help others, you have to be in a position to help others. You cannot pour from an empty teapot. You can't. You cannot fill up anybody else's cup if your teapot is empty. Now, maybe your cup's empty, but you got this teapot, and that's fine if you want to go that route. But you can't fill up anybody else's cup if your teapot's empty. You have to put in the work. You have to be in a position to help. And yes, that means focusing on the self. Doesn't mean cutting off stuff. You can find people who are on the same path as you, same journey as you, even on the same spot on the path as you. And you can help each other as you grow. It's one of the things why I'm against the Jedi community and their hierarchy of knights and masters and stuff, because we're all Jedi and we're all walking the path. There's just people on different paths, right? Or not different paths, but different areas of the path. They're further along. But the people walking next to each other on the path, they can guide each other and help each other just as much to move forward. So you don't have to be focused only on yourself, but focusing on yourself is absolutely required. Okay. Yeah, I got this message from you. You can provide the door, but it's up to them to open and cross it. You can drag a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. That kind of thing. Absolutely. Let's see. Can't answer the question on why here, why now. Let's see. I'm like way behind on the chat here. Let me see if I can catch up. Super behind. Oh yeah. So I said thank you for that. I would love to join your community and share what I know. I want to help. I don't know how you know. I would love to join your community. I mean, you're here, so mission accomplished, I guess. Also, if you want to join JediLiving.com, you can do that. I don't check it anymore, because it's pretty it works on itself, but you can do that. Okay, I'm really far behind. Is that all the magic words? I'm also introvert and antisocial and need time. I needed, you can ask my partner. She was like, there was like 2 days of just downtime and decompressing and stuff like that. I have the Sith code across my chest and Mandalorian skulls on my shoulder. Is it in airbrush? And there's some parts of the Sith code I like. There's some that are just fundamentally wrong, philosophically speaking, but you know. Let's see. If you could do a 3-part pull for me, I would deeply be grateful. My question is, what is my purpose? All right. Which 3 cards? I'll have to go down because I'm like way behind. And I know you probably typed this a long time ago, but which 3 cards? So we have affirmation. So you can pick from, and you can pick any 3. It doesn't have to be the same kind, but we have activity, inspiration, guidance, and affirmation. Do you want 3 guidance cards pulled? Do you want just 3 cards in general? Do you want 3 activities pulled? These are our cards. These are what we work with. I don't actually work with tarot cards. That's not my bag. But these are our cards. So which 3? You type that out as I try to catch up. Which 3, and I'll definitely pull them for you. But you tell me what 3 cards you want pulled, and I'll pull those. Let's see where we're at. But to help in what way? That is always the question. I mean, join humanity. There's a thing. Let's see. Am I late? No, you're not. No, you're not. A wizard is never late. They're always right on time. Let's see. Join to meditation. Also, you can't force help on someone. Absolutely true. I'm an empath and don't like seeing others suffer. Yeah. Every empath is struggling right now. I know so. Sometimes suffering is educational and unfortunately needed for growth. And that's also not a lie. It is sad and frustrating watching people make mistakes that are old to you. It can be. There's also an understanding that we all had to go through it, and you can try to ease those struggles. And that's the whole point of teaching. And then again, there's that Star Wars quote, we are what they grow beyond. Because the idea of parenting, mentoring, teaching, any of that, right, is that we can provide the tools that make the path easier through life. And in that, they can grow better. But they're still going to face struggles, maybe even the same ones, maybe new ones and different ones. But there's still going to be that struggle. There is no easing the path perfectly. There is no making it smooth sailing for anybody. everybody has their own challenges. Everybody has their own struggles. So it can be, but it can also be, I don't know. I've seen people dealing with the problems that I've gone through and dealing with those challenges, and I'm smiling and smirking the whole way because I can empathize, right? I understand what they're going through, but I also understand what's on the other side, and I also understand like this is part of the journey, right? And I'm like, and it's not that they're gonna be okay. That's it. It's easier to understand that they're gonna be okay when you understand they're gonna be okay, and you understand that they're actually gonna come out on the better side of this. It always sucks to see people suffering and struggling and there's nothing you can do about it. Like that's always tough. And it's also a feeling of powerlessness, that there's nothing you can do here, and understanding that. But in that you can do the strongest thing. There's always that thing. You're never powerless in the essence that you can just be there. You can be that support. You can just be there for the person. You don't not forcing your help or anything, but just being there and letting them know, hey, if you ever need anything, I'm here. Just letting them know, just letting a person know that you're there can sometimes be the most powerful thing you can do. While at the same time, obviously, you're not really doing anything, right? You're just being there. You're just letting them know, hey, I'm here. That's it. That's all I got. That's all I can offer. I got nothing else I can offer you, right? So it can be tough, but also if you remember, like, all right, they're going to get through this, and by being there for them, again, can be the most powerful thing you can do. But yeah, it's really tough. It really is. So let's see if I can catch up here. Like I know we are all connected via existing in an interdimensional plane. I don't even feel you need the last part. I just know we're all connected, like regardless, right? No matter how big or small you view your universe, we're all connected. The biggest mistake people make is thinking they're a part of the force or Zoe or source or whatever word you want to use, when really they are the force, the Zoe, the source, whatever, right? Like you're not a part of it, and that's what it is. So I went to LA and I needed like 3 days to go to the store. My partner was like, "Are you sure you don't want to go?" Because I needed to sit in the dark. Yeah. Yep. Getting in the room and just turning off all the lights, and yeah, it's 100% my decompression. Yeah, I fully understand that. I mean, I live in LA and I grew up in LA, so I have some, I don't know, natural immunity to it, but like Comic-Con's it's a whole other deal. It's a whole other bag. Okay, guidance. All right. 3 guidance. All right, I'm going now. Okay. Guidance. And as we catch up here, anybody else? I like that one. You're all in different place and can't rush through. Okay, 3 guidance. For purpose, what is Logan's purpose? What guidance does the force, spirit, universe, Zoe, source, and ourselves, everybody in the chat, what guidance do we have for Logan feeling lost and seeking purpose, seeking their tribe? What guidance do we have for them? What guidance? 1. What guidance? 2 and 3. Cool. What guidance do we have? All right. Oh, we end up getting 4. All right. Okay. I'm not going to put these in any order, so here we are. Let's see. I want to test myself. Let's see how strong I am. Just got to sit back for this one. I never fail. I acquire data for my advancement. I'm a fan of that idea too, of like mistakes are just learning experiences. But anyways, okay. Guidance. So we're starting out. Standing out in a crowd does not mean acting like a different person. Embrace who you are and be comfortable with the ways your personality already makes you unique. So this is a good one. Again, it goes to finding your tribe and finding your people. If you feel lost, all you have to do is be true to yourself. If you don't quite know who that is, you got to put in the work. But I mean, that's number one. I feel that really applies, and it's something we've already been talking about, and something we talked about earlier. And one of the cards we pulled earlier is standing out doesn't mean like acting like a different person. All you have to do is be who you are. Be comfortable with yourself and be true to yourself, and be true to who that is. Next, we all have big dreams about what we want to be someday, but it takes actions to make dreams come true. Write a list of your dreams for the future, then list the things you can do to make those dreams come true. This should be an activity card, but this is good guidance right here for you. If you're looking for your purpose, if you're looking for direction, if you're looking, this is what you do. Sit with yourself for a while, get that meditation on, figure out what it is you're seeking, what it is your dreams are, and then write them out, and then write how you get there, slowly, one step at a time, and build yourself that guide. And if nothing else, it's like, so in TV shows, when you want to start a new TV show like Stranger Things, they have to write what's called a show Bible. And those are an outline of what the theme and the episodes are supposed to be for the season, for the show. And those are actually used even in production. The actors, the producers, the directors, they all refer back to the show Bible because they help provide that list. They help provide that reminder of the themes and of what they're trying to accomplish and what they're trying to make happen. So write these out. These are good. This is good for you. Write out that dream and then list the things you can do to make those things come true. If your dream is to be an author, what can you do to make that a reality? And start, little. Start, well, I gotta write. I gotta write stuff. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. And slowly start checking things off that list, and slowly start taking those steps there. That's just an example, but yeah, this is a good one for finding your purpose and moving forward. All right. So we have be yourself, and then write out a thing for your dreams. All right. So guidance. There are few feelings worse than fighting with someone you care about. The next time you are in an argument with someone, stop for a moment and look at the situation from their perspective. Try to understand how they feel. This one, for purpose, this might just be a personal thing. This might just be for you and something you need to dig into. Let's look at the thing. Let's see if it has a little thing for you. Probably has a little exercise for you. Have you ever had a fight that completely changed your relationships with someone? What could both sides have done to lead to a different outcome? So what could you have done to lead to a different outcome? This one, kind of veers off of purpose, but might need personal self-reflection on this one. Try it. It talks about empathy, and it talks about, like, if you had an argument with someone, take a moment, try to understand different viewpoints and different perspectives, and that could still relate to your own journey and your own purpose of understanding who you are, understanding where you want to be. Because when we argue and when we have conflict with people, again, those emotions, anger, sadness, disagreement, joy, all those emotions are informative of ourselves, and how we view the world and how we view others. So this can really come back to you and to understanding how you view your place in the world, how you view your place in the universe, how you view your purpose, your dreams, how you view those things. So, you know, if you've done that, take a moment, really dig into it, really think about it. All right, this one also seems a bit personal. We all lose our temper sometimes, especially when we feel we aren't in control of ourselves. It speaks to purpose. When you feel this way, close your eyes, take 3 deep breaths, and count to 10. It's something I'd recommend doing before doing the list as well. Before doing this list, before writing down your dreams and doing the self-search. This is just a good exercise in general. It doesn't have to be when you're upset. Sometimes when we're talking about being introverted and maybe things are overwhelming, this is also a good one. For Jedi stuff, when I feel overwhelmed, you can do this and you can recite the Jedi code, either in your head or out loud, whatever you're comfortable with. But if you can find a place to recite the Jedi code, then you can do that. But it's another one, because it takes time. It takes longer than 3 seconds, right? Or longer than 10 seconds. If you go slowly, go through it, right? But yeah, when you feel this way, close your eyes, take 3 deep breaths, and count to 10. It's a good one. But again, this is speaking to tempers, and then our other one was spoke to like getting into arguments. So those seem more personal, but they do relate back to the self, and they do relate back to purpose and understanding that sometimes you have to take a moment. You have to take time out. You have to do a little time out and do some self-reflection and do some reflection on the situation in general. So if you're angry at a situation, like this doesn't have to be someone. This can be angry at the situation. This can be anger at the universe. This can be like you're arguing with the universe, right? You're not going to win that argument, by the way. Just FYI for anybody watching. If you're arguing with the universe, you ain't going to win it. But take a moment. Take a deep breath. Take 3. Count to 10. Say the Jedi code. Be okay. Get right with yourself. And you can move forward again with the purpose and the dreams that you have here, And again, so you can get back to yourself. So if I was going to order these, I guess I would order it in, this way of like backwards almost, right? Because we all lose our temper sometimes, and it's good to take that break. If you fight with someone or something, right? You have to stop and reflect on the situation and really try to consider it from the other point of view. And then take time to really reflect on where you're trying to go, where you're at and where you're trying to go. So where are you trying to go? Write out those dreams, that goal, whatever. And then consider where you're at and then what steps you can do to take to help you get there. And then boom. And then stay true to yourself. And then just stay true to yourself. And all that means, and in doing so, you're gonna succeed. You're gonna get further if you stay true to yourself. So those are what those cards, and that's my interpretation of those cards. And there you go. So let's see. I'm still here. I'm only listening. Fair. If I was gonna suggest guidance, I'd say learn how to accept failure. You have to. That's the only way you can truly learn from failure, is to accept it, to understand, like, because failure is very dependent upon our point of view, what we're looking at. If your goal is to win a game and you lose, then you failed, right? You failed to reach that goal. But if your goal is to learn through playing the game, then it doesn't matter that you lost, because you learned. As long as you learned, then you've reached the goal and you succeeded in your goal, right? It's all about point of view of what we're trying to focus on and what we deem, right? Our focus determines our reality. So, but it's important to accept the reality of the situation. We lost the game. So even if you're like, well, I didn't fail personally, You can say as a team collective effort, because our goal is to win, we did fail, and you have to acknowledge that, and then and that way you can present a game plan on how you can win in the future, right? You have to accept the failure first. LA is too big of a city for me. I'm glad I only get to visit, but yeah, it was good to be home. And I also tried new food. Black bean noodles sounds delicious. That sounds delicious. That's awesome. That's awesome though, and good. Uh, I'm glad you were able to try new food from last week's activity. Um, but yeah, I fully understand. First of all, no matter where you live, right? Even if you're from LA or whatever, it's always good to be back home. Like, it's always nice when you get back to your space or the place that you've been building as your space. Like, it's always good to get back to your space. So absolutely. But yeah, it's LA's big. It's why I stick to very small areas in LA. Like when I hang out, we go to like a specific areas in Hollywood, right? Like they're very specific, they're very pinpoint, things of that nature. All right. Okay. So let's see if we can catch up here. Let's see. I think I figured out what I want. I'm going to do a meditation ritual, and I want to ignite a light to show my tribe I am here. Sounds good. I just hope that's not a literal light. But yeah. So that's good. Yeah. Do the meditation, do the ritual. Those things are important for centering the self too. Be true to self, be calm, focused on what I want, and then execute. And the question is, Logan, what do you want? Absolutely. That is always the question. Meditate, work out, be the best version I can be. Those two things are not dynamically, those things aren't against each other. Crying and being strong. In fact, some of the strongest people I know cry a lot. Sometimes they call it their habit. So, crying does not negate being strong. You can cry and be strong at the same time. So, so don't even worry about that. Crying is strength too, and a release of emotion is something. Is important. Be strong. Being strong and crying are not against each other. They're not mutually exclusive. So habit, hobby, whatever, whichever, right? Whatever it is. But yeah. So I mean, crying is. I don't think I've met anybody who's never cried, and if I did, extremely unhealthy, and I wouldn't consider that a strength. I wouldn't put that on a strength level. I just have all this energy. I feel connected. I want to say thank you so much for hearing me out. No problem. That's what we do here. It's literally what we do here. We hear people out. We answer questions, and we offer our little Star Wars guidance. That's what we do. We have fun. For any of those just joining, because I'm gonna recap here. Let's see. I don't know why I try to say I'm just speaking honestly. Yeah. Oops. All improvement starts somewhere small. Don't let your aspirations run away with your mind. Don't choke on your ambitions. It's only useful so long as you can reduce these down to actionable steps, right? Otherwise, it gets too big. And that's something I've struggled with because I have like some big ideas and big projects that I'm working on. And it's sometimes and that's very overwhelming for me. It's very big. And yeah, it has to be broken down into bite-sized little chunks. It's also like that way with small things too. Like if you have ADHD or anything like that, or if you struggle in those adult things like house chores and things of that nature. Sometimes we look at the house and we're like, oh, I have to clean this whole house. That's ambitious. Break it down into actionable steps and do it over. It's small times like dishes on this day, laundry on this day, vacuuming on this day, or something like that, right? but you can break it down, or tackling a room a day or something like that, like by breaking it down into actionable steps, that's actually how you progress forward. And it might not seem like a lot at the time where you do little things and you just do little things, but over time, then you look back and you realize how much you've actually done and how far you've actually come. So yeah, absolutely. This is wonderful advice on that. So yeah, like real quick, just going to recap what our cards were. So the activity is share with a friend. So we've talked about that one before. We've talked about you can't stop change any more than you can stop the suns from setting. Change is a natural part of life that cannot be avoided. It's what helps you learn and grow. It's our inspiration for the week. Being a leader takes hard work and sacrifice. Start simple by setting a good example and helping others every day. Again, start simple. Actionable steps, small things. And that's our guidance for the week. And our affirmation for the week is, I am gifted. I have natural skills that set me apart from everyone around me. I will shine through for everyone to see. So just in case, to catch people up. All right. I come from darkness. I am known as the light burst from the darkness. My wife wants to say thank you for providing a place. I know what I want to do. Happy to hear it. And no problem. That's what we do. Metabolic spitting facts. I deplore you to make a Discord. I will support your empire. I swear, my empire. In time, honestly, I am gonna make a Discord in time. I had one before, but I don't have the time or the lightsabers or spoons or spell slots or whatever you want to call it to manage it. And I am not, and I don't allow people that kind of access to me anymore. I used to a lot. I used to give all myself to it. But these days, in order to grow this empire, right, requires me to focus on like 5 different things at once. So that requires me to really make sure my attention's in the right spot. But because I have a Patreon, and a part of that is going to be a Discord channel eventually. But I'm waiting for things to actually, I'm waiting for certain projects to be done first, whether they succeed or fail, whether they happen or they don't, whether they're given approval or shot down, whatever, right? As long as I know, once I have once things settle in either direction, then I'll know what direction I can focus my energies on, and then we can move forward. So a Discord is in the future at some point. It's not anytime soon, but eventually we're going to get to a Discord. But I don't have the ability right now to run all that stuff and do all that at this time. And I'm a very hands-on person, so I don't believe in just building something and then handing it off to someone else to deal with. I'm very interactive, and if I do a Discord, I will be providing access to me and my time and my energy, and as such, I want to make sure that we're in a place that I can actually do that, because I'm not against it. I used to do it a lot, and I had no problem with it, but I want to make sure I'm in a spot to do that first. Decide on what you can do tomorrow. Write it down. If you have to, leave yourself a note. But once you make some progress, you will feel so much better, which is true. When you get one thing, even when you have that list and you just cross one thing off, it feels like an accomplishment, and it feels like you are taking steps forward, and that's rewarding in itself. And that can help breed that habit to do those things and all that. I appreciate that. Yeah, I've talked about that. We've had discussions on that kind of stuff before, especially within the vampire community and such like that. But yeah, the vampire culture it's interesting. But yeah, but hopefully hopefully we'll have some. I used to have a Discord account, but I deleted everything. There were issues right? Yeah, I used to have a Discord. I didn't like, and I tried to let other people manage it when I wanted to take a step back and kind of just focus on projects. And yeah, there's just people that there's just snakes in the grass. There's always people that are gonna take advantage of situations and try to use your platform as a stepping stone, and especially when they do it for all the wrong things and all the wrong reasons. um and so instead of trying to just deal with that, I just shut it down. And but it's a lesson learned for next time. So when we do set up a Discord, because I'll be very you know I like what we do here. We build a culture, we build an open space for people to talk freely and things of that nature. um, and then, because what's important is exploring the physical or the philosophical concepts behind those things, and helping people grow as individuals, so that we may all, again, starts here and works outward. But if we're all starting here and we're all working outward, eventually those outwards are going to meet, right? Eventually those outward bubbles of positivity, of helping, of all of that stuff, of being good within ourselves, and building that bubble, and extending that sphere of responsibility, and that having that be a positive thing, a positive and beneficial thing. APBP test, right? When those meet, when those match up, then we have a much bigger space, right? It's a much bigger bubble, and we have a much better society in which we live in. So there were issues. No, yeah, we got it. Don't worry. I do typos all the time. My brain gets ahead of my fingers get ahead of my brain, or my brain gets ahead of my fingers. Either one. I'm not sure which way that goes, but no, fully understood. Sith, did he say? Wait, is that there is no one that matches my vibes? A Sith Mandalorian. That's funny. Uh, that's funny because my partner, actually, we went to Star Wars Celebration, and she built up an entire armor set from the ground up. She made it. Made a Sith Mandalorian costume. If you go check my Instagram, it's in there somewhere, or maybe it was just on my stories. I don't know. But yeah, like, she made it from the ground up. From, like, made the armor, made everything, made the helmet, and made a Sith Mandalorian. And yeah, no, Sith, Mandalorian, vampire, fucking awesome person. I don't know. Go through the list. There's a lot of things there. Uh, but yeah, but no, like, Discord, it has its issues, and you really have to be on top of your culture building. That's the thing that I know, one, from all communities, societies, things of that nature. But I've seen it in Discords where people don't focus on the culture building, and you have to do it in the beginning. You have to be strict on it, and people don't want to do that, right? They just want an open space for everybody, but someone's going to come in and destroy your culture. So you have to do culture building. You have to build your culture right from the beginning, or it's going to be toxic. It's going to be problematic. You're going to have people just running all over stuff. It's not going to be handled well. It's going to be messy. You have to build your culture from the beginning. And again, that's why when we have one in the future, it'll be when I can dedicate some time to it, and make sure, so I can make sure that the right moderators are there, and that the culture's understood. Um, because there's a line in building the proper culture, right? There's a middle ground in building the proper culture. You don't want to go too far one way. You don't want to go too far the other. You don't want to be so crazy with the band hammer or anything that it shuts down conversation. At the same time, you don't want to just let it run roughshod. Like, my Discord channel had someone in there trying to correct people on how to speak and the words that they were allowed to use and things like that. And I'm not okay with that. I'm not okay with people being, aggressive like that, and shutting people down and treating them poorly. instead of, again, we're here, we open a space. It's about open discussion. It's about progressing the ideology, progressing the philosophy, about being better people. It's not about judgment. It's not about belief. It's about what are tangible skills, what is tangible philosophy, what can we live by, and what do we know, and then applying those things, and everything else is just superficial. Everything else is superficial. So as long as we can look at those things, how we live, and does it pass the APBP test, and then they're going forward. That's what we're gonna push forward, is the things that pass the APBP test. But yeah, so let's see. Please remind us with what the APBP test is. Yeah, APBP test is, so right here you have applicable, practical, beneficial, and positive. So basically you're asking yourself, the APBP test is when you're confronted with something, you ask yourself, is this practical? Is this practical to live by? Is this practical to live by in my life as it is now, right? And then, is it applicable? Can I apply this to my life? Is this something that even applies to me, my life, my world? Is this applicable to me, to my life? If you're good on those so far, that it's something practical and applicable that you can bring into your life and live by, cool. Your next steps is it beneficial? Is this something that, if you live by it, is going to be beneficial to your life? Is it going to be beneficial to yourself? Is this something that's going to benefit you? Is it beneficial? And then lastly, is it positive? Is this something that's going to have a positive impact on your life, your circle, your world? Is this something that's going to leave a positive impact behind? Is this a positive thing to live by? So is it practical, or is it applicable? Is it applicable? Is it practical? Is it beneficial? And is it positive? Getting all my words mixed up here. Stupid brain. So applicable, practical, beneficial, positive. Sorry, I messed that all up, but you get the idea. Is it applicable to live by? Is it practical to live by? Is it beneficial to live by? And will it leave a positive impact? Those are your questions mainly. So that's the APBT test, and it applies to all of that. So there you go. I just want to find the right Discord people. There's, you might want to talk, well, depending on what you like and what you don't like, because it gets weird. Skull Cold, I know, runs a Discord and stuff like that. And has really done a good job on culture building and things of that nature. So yeah. Again, in the future, and she's going to help me when we eventually started this. And again, that's not anytime soon. That's going to be in the future. But when that happens, we'll do our best to be that the right Discord build. We'll do our best to be that. And you can start from scratch, and everything. So, applicable, practical, beneficial, positive. Absolutely. And that's our APBP test. That's what we do for the cards, right? That's what we do for Jedi quotes. It's what we do for our inspiration. It's what we do for any of it. It's what we do for the things I say on here. The situational Jedi book, it has that throughout the books when we deal with the quotes, and we also apply it to Jediism philosophy. So if you're looking at things like the Jedi Circle, Jedi Rules of Behavior, 33 Teachings of Jediism, those things, you still apply it. Remove anything that does not fit there. You remove them. And that's how we, people question, how can you follow something that's fictional in real life? Star Wars is made up, and it's yeah, but if we can apply it, if it passes this test, then we know what works, right? We know, or at least we have the ground foundation to figure out if it works, right? We have a starting point in which we can then move forward and build from. So we can look at our inspiration. This thing inspires me to be a Jedi, but does it pass the APBP test, right? And then the stuff that does, we can bring that in and we can use that. Doesn't matter that it's from Star Wars. We can still bring that in. And then the stuff that doesn't, then, it's there for entertainment purposes. It's there to enjoy. It's there to be a fan of, but it's not something that we bring into our lives, right? Like, no one's jumping into a pit of lava to get a Vader suit, because that wouldn't pass our APBP test, right? Like I said, issues, and it's a very long story. Don't worry about it, man. Like, it's all good. It's all good. But, in the future, if we have one and you want to join, you don't have to, obviously, but there it is. It's like looking at all the pets on Discord. Pet channel and meme channels. It's where it's at. Yeah. All right. So, okay. I think that's it. Unless anybody, because we're already at about an hour and a half. So unless anybody wants a poll, we have the guidance, activity, inspiration cards. So unless anybody wants a personal poll, we might cancel it out here. We might go ahead and move on. So I'm going to leave it there. Melbo, guidance and activity. All right. So let's see. We're going to do guidance and activity, which is okay. Guidance and activity from Melbo. So let's do the activity first, and then we'll get some guidance on that activity. How about that? How about we do it that way? Guidance and activity. Guidance and activity. What do we got for guidance and activity? Make sure you just take a couple deep breaths. Get your energy right. Guidance and activity. Guidance and activity. Guidance and activity. Guidance and activity. Activity. All right. Pass on what you have learned. We all have different skills. Find something that you're good at and teach a friend how to do it. Ask them to show you something in return. Of course, pass on what you have learned. Let's look at the little book here. Right to it. Before he becomes one with the let's try this again. Before he becomes one with the Force, Yoda reminds his young apprentice, Luke Skywalker, to always share his knowledge and experience with others. Luke follows Yoda's advice and attempts to rebuild the Jedi Order. What have you learned in life that could be useful to those around you? How could you pass that knowledge on to them? What can you learn from the experiences of others? Is that right? Is that right? No. There we go. So yeah. What have you learned in life that could be useful to those around you? How could you pass on that knowledge to them? What can you learn from the experiences of others? So that's your activity for the week, is to pass on what you have learned. Pass on what you have learned. And it says friend, but that applies, obviously, that applies to anybody and anywhere. That can be coworker, that can be family member, that can be anything. Anybody, anything, anywhere. Pass on what you have learned and be open to learning from others as well. So that's the activity. That's the activity for the week. And all right, the guidance for it, right? The guidance. Melbo guidance. What you got? You just got Melbo. You just got Yoda vibes all day. Okay. Guidance. True wisdom comes from both knowledge and experience, but you don't have to live 900 years to become wise. Teach yourself one new thing a day. Wisdom comes in many forms. One new thing a day might be a little tough. But yeah, so true wisdom comes from both knowledge and experience. So basically, these tie up really well, obviously, right? These things tie up really, really well. And the idea that learn different things and share, knowledge and experience, do these things. Go be Yoda. Go listen to Yoda. That passes the APBP test, if we're being clear. These facts. So, true wisdom comes both from knowledge and experience, and then you have to, pass on what you've learned and teach it. Teach someone something. Teach your dog something. Yeah. So yep. There you go. I think those match up really well. Those are really good. That's a really good matchup of learning and experiencing things. So because you want to learn as well, not just pass on. So. Ate something new last week, learned something new this week. Right. You had the noodles, the black bean noodles. So learn something new this week, and make sure you pass on something. Seems kind of fitting. Yoda vibes and spitting facts earlier. Indeed. Dang, my man's Yoda telling me I'm stuck in my ways. Yeah. Go out, go experience some things. Go, try some new food that you did, and now try new things. Go learn, go do, go experience, go, go do that stuff. Go have fun. Yeah, that's a good one though. That's a good one. Go out there and then share it. Share what you learned, share what you learned, teach someone else, pass it on. Doesn't have to be a solitary thing. You could even share it with someone. Let's see. Is there a way for you to have a sit down for like 30 minutes? There is a way, technically. Not today. Today I'm still recouping from Comic-Con, man. Like Comic-Con wore me out. Those days took a good chunk out of me. So I'm still in recovery process. And so is there a way? Yeah, it's mainly, I wouldn't know where. I technically have a Discord, but I don't use it, or like a Discord account, but I don't use it. I don't have like the apps or anything. You could probably find me on Facebook. I don't know if you have that kind of thing. You could find me on Facebook and probably get me on Messenger at some point. Again, today, no. That's not going to happen. I am still in recovery mode. So, is it possible? It is possible. Or you can just join us next week. We'll be here next week for that. Let's see. Can I send you a link for us to do a voice chat? I'm being honest. Here, you're cool, and I want to be your friend and help out with your goals. Yeah, well, 1, we'll be here next week. 2, you want to be my friend. Rules for being my friend. 1, being my friend is you can ask anyone. It's difficult. Not as difficult as dating me, but certainly just about. It's up there. It's definitely hard. As my partner giggles in the fucking background. It's definitely not easy. There's rules. I have strict stipulations. Mainly it's this. Just be you. And yeah, just be you. And if you got something that you think works for, you just have to you have to be organic. You have to be authentic and organic. And if I feel you're stealing my time, I'm gonna as there's plenty of people in the Jedi community that will attest to this stuff. There's plenty of people in the Jedi community who have sought to be my friend and have left very disappointed and bitter because of it. There's a lot of bitter people out there who have wanted to be my friend and that they did not succeed. But authenticity and respect, both ways. Authenticity, respect. If you have Facebook, that's probably the best place to start. That's probably the best place to start, and start small, right? Goals. We talked about that, right? That was part of our affirmations. If you have tangible goals, start small, right? Build up. Don't try to rush anything. We're not going to be going out and fucking having sushi probably anytime soon, So start small, build up. And, you're always free to join us if you ever find yourself in Hollywood to go to Club Wednesdays and enjoy the vampire community there that we're a part of and that we enjoy. But yeah, don't worry about it. Like, the best thing you can do for friendship is to just stay true to yourself. That's all. Just stay true to yourself. Just be true to yourself. And yeah, it's about communication, trust, respect, right? Like any good relationship, you got to have those things. You got to have communication. You have to have trust. You have to have respect. Those things will get you to where you want to be. But ultimately, I always thought I was crazy. It's just your partner. Yeah. Not all the time, but sometimes she's because our computers are in the same room, so she's often here, and has to listen to my dumbass, and but yeah, so it's not easy. It's tough, but yeah, I'm very, as I said, introvert, antisocial. Trying to get into my circle is not easy, and vibes, energy. Zeno's got it. Be yourself. Those are the things. That's it. And it's just time. Just gotta give it time. If we're talking about the same things, if we're talking about things that we both have an interest in, again, genuinely, authentically, if we're talking about those things, then that's gonna happen. But the best way, honestly, the best way is really just, that's why we have this, that's why we're always here. We're always here for like an hour and a half, 2 hours. We're always here every time we do a live. And it's because that's what we're here for. We're here to talk with one another. We're here to share our experiences, this journey, right? We're here to share this thing called life, to quote Prince, like we're here, to share this experience and to talk about it and to grow with one another and to share those things that we've learned, the lessons that we've learned, and to be a part of it. And sometimes friendship comes out of that, and sometimes it doesn't, but that doesn't diminish anything. That doesn't diminish what we do, and it doesn't diminish anything like that. But more than anything, we build community, and it's about building culture and community. And those things can be infinitely more rewarding than a one-on-one friendship. I'm more about creating the environment in which people can have friends and develop friendships than I am about personally making friends, if that makes sense. So as Zeno said, be yourself, be authentic, and things will happen organically. Things will happen naturally. It's the same advice I give for romantic relationships, right? It's the same, like relationships across the board, whether they're working relationships, friendships, romantic relationships, anything like that. You always want to treat them, you always want to approach it from a place of authenticity And you always want to have communication, trust, and respect as your basic foundations. And then from there, you can grow and you can do things. So yeah. You know, that's all you can do. About you want me to help you. Best way you can help me is just well, there's no way you can really help me right now. Yeah, just be as we talked about before. The best way that you can do things for people is just to be there for people in case they need it. Right? That's all you can do. By being there without being intrusive, by being there and letting people know you're there for them, that can often be the biggest help. Whether they take advantage of it or not, whether they actually lean on you or not, or whether they actually come to you or not, is irrelevant. The idea, knowing that people are there for you, that people are in your corner, has a bigger impact than people often realize. So again, as we talked about earlier, the biggest thing you can do to help people, one of the most powerful things you can do to help people is to just let them know that you're in their corner and you're there for them. And if they need anything, you'll be there. So that. But yeah, I have no friends. It takes too much bandwidth, right? Basically, that's I feel that 100%. It takes way too much. I've been invited to like D&D games and stuff, and I'm like, I don't have the bandwidth for that shit, man. I can't do it. I would like to, sure, but that's too much, man. And plus, I know how I am, and I don't believe in committing. Like if like I've had multiple people, especially over the years, like invite me to things like D&D games, and I'm just like, no, because I will dip out periodically. Like there'll be more than 1 week where I'm like, nope, I'm not up for it. I don't have the bandwidth for it. So no. When I am there and I do have the bandwidth for it, would it be fun, enjoyable, and all that good stuff? Absolutely. But yeah, that's why I'm very like, we go out on a Wednesday and meet with our friends, like it's things we being my friend. If you want to be my friend, like for real friend, you have to understand we won't talk for months. We will not talk for months. It'll be 2 months and I'll hit you up out of nowhere like, hey, what's going on? You want to hang out? Like we won't talk. The person I consider my best friend right now is struggling with some health issues, and they're dealing with like hospital stuff and everything. I do not hit them up every day. I do not bug them every day. I don't have the bandwidth for it. And I'm sure they're different than me, and I'm sure they wouldn't have a problem with me hitting them up and checking in on them and stuff like that. But it's just not who I am. But they don't feel bad about it. They know who I am. They've accepted me for me. And they understand, like, when I do hit them up, like I'm making sure that they're okay. And I know there's the trust thing too, right? I know if anything is going sideways, we're going to know. Like, I'm going to know. Well, I'm going to find out one way or the other pretty quickly, right? The trust and communication is there. But I don't like, I think it was like a couple weeks ago, we went out and met with our friends, and we met up. We went to the best margarita. We went to the best margarita place in our neighborhood, and we met up. And we hadn't seen them for months, right? We hadn't even talked for months, but we were like, hey, it's been radio silence, but let's talk, let's hang out, let's get back together. That's what it's like to be my friend, man. Like this channel. Excellent example. How long have we gone without videos, like new videos, and then now we're kind of getting the lives going, but I still haven't gotten back into that, making and producing and editing the videos and all of that for the channel and stuff like that. same thing, right? It's about bandwidth. It's about what you're focusing on, what grabs your energy, what grabs your attention, things like that. So yeah, number one rule of being my friend, like you have to accept that I will dip out no communication for like weeks. And that doesn't diminish friendship in my eyes. That doesn't diminish, because I think if you're friends, if you're good, if you're really there for someone, then it doesn't matter, right? Like I don't need to talk to someone constantly to like reach out to them if I need someone to reach out to. Um, Likewise, I don't need to talk to someone constantly if they need to reach out to me because they need a helping hand. If they're in a bad situation, you don't have to talk to me every day to earn that privilege, right? Like if you're my friend, you're my friend. You can talk to me at any time. I have people that if they hit me up, I haven't talked to in years, but if they hit me up, I'd be there for them, because I felt that friendship is never diminished from my side, right? But yeah, I mean, like I have a super small circle. It's super tiny. And yeah, it's because it's too much, man. It's too much. I can only give it out so much. And a lot of my attention goes to other things too, right? And project, that's all time, energy, and things I could be using on something else. Like I could be finishing this, I could be working on this project, I could be making a video, or I could be doing something else, right? But that's all stuff. You have to take time from somewhere. You have to pull from somewhere. So, but yeah. Let's see. Yeah, if you want to drop your link, we're gonna sign off here. So if you want to drop your link in the chat, go ahead and drop your link in the chat. Or if you want to drop it in the comment section of the video, you can. I don't care. That's people's choices on whether or not they want to join your Discord. I don't have a problem with it. That's we're all adults here, so people can choose what they want to do. But yeah. But yeah, I don't mind. I don't care. You can drop that. But do it quick, because I think we're out of here. I think we're done. I think we're out. Unless anybody else got a carpool. Anybody else? Mobo, make sure that you learn something this week. Go experience something. And then make sure you pass it on. Make sure you pass on something new. So, yeah, you can drop it. Again, running out of time. So, but you can drop it in, as I said, in the comment section if you want. We need an outro screen and music or something. Yeah, I know. Lives are weird. I've obviously have not perfected how to do lives. I know there's ways that you can like add in music and screens sharing and all that stuff and all that stuff. But yeah, I need to throw it in. Countdown. We need a countdown thing so you know that the time's coming and stuff. So yeah, maybe. I know if I cared enough, I would. But I don't right now. So we'll see. All right. I think that's it. We're at 1:45. You can have people jump in. Yes, that is correct. I can screen share this with people. I could do that. I could host a whole party. I've thought about using it like some of the videos we had Jedi roundtable discussions, and we've had the Jedi history. If you looked on our channel where we gone through the Jedi community history, where I brought people in. That wasn't with StreamYard. That was back in the day with Google Hangouts, but those videos are still there. Where if you have interest in learning Jedi history, Jedi community history, I guess I should say Jedi community history, those things are there. So thanks for stopping by. Always appreciate it. Get some you time and recuperate. Definitely plan on doing that. As far as I know, my schedule's open, so we should be here next week around the same time. I try to keep it around 10:30 at best. 10 to 11 is, the start time. I know I haven't nailed that down yet. So 10:30 on Sunday should be the next time that we're here. And then Melbo can let us know what they taught someone, if they taught like a dog a new trick or something like that. Zeno, thank you for being here. Appreciate you. Appreciate everybody who stopped by, and for all the donations. I really appreciate that. You guys, appreciate it. We'd love to have you on Discord eventually. Hey man, that was awesome stream. Thank you. No, fine, thanks. No, thanks, I'm fine. Yeah. All good. All right, we're out of here. Everybody, go take care. Go be good. Go be a Jedi. Go do your thing. Zoist. Whatever you need. And go do your guidance. Go do your activities. And I'll catch you all later, man. May the Force be with you.